if this print was done 20 years after the Civil War, and probably that's when the artist was hired by the company to do the drawing, so they make a print. I wonder if he actually used Matthew Brady's photography and images to sort of, even today, artists use photography, work in their studio, and do images. So, you know, what made me think about it is Kevin and I thought that we have these really wonderful images of a train wreck, and which were done probably in the early part of the 19th century. And Matthew Brady was probably, if anybody, we know what the Civil War was about through his photographs, his photography, and there are a whole series of books. And so photography started to challenge landscape paintings, portraiture, and once daguerreotype came into being, a lot of painters felt that their purpose, their occupation was threatened because of photography. And so, you know, maybe this was still being done, but they were probably getting a lot of the images through photography. And we have this really wonderful group by Fred Stone of Waterbury, Connecticut. And these were, the engines were wrecked number 1056 and 1057. So these were probably done, maybe in Connecticut, by a Waterbury artist showing a real incredible story of this wreck of this train. I don't know, I just think that, you know, we decided to show these because this changed, photography changed the whole aspect of landscape painting.
And we think this is a train wreck that happened on the Wheeling and Lake Erie line, so somewhere out in Ohio or up New York. And one of the great aspects of this, and as a landscape, is the quality of the photography at that time. They used very large glass plates that were probably the same size as the image. So it really captured the quality and reproduces it really amazingly in the photograph. There's one picture that shows the two of the engines, and also in looking at the boxcars that were used. These were the engines, and the boxcars date from the mid-19th century, 1860 or so. These were the same type of boxcars that were used to transport Civil War soldiers. But it could date for, you know, probably a couple decades after that, so 1860 to 1880. And some of the debris that you see in the wreckage are humongous bales of cotton that must have been 8 feet long and 4 feet high. And again, through that great quality of the landscape photograph, we can see a lot of detail. And these, you know, photography did change landscape painting and alt painting, but there is still, and there still is, obviously, a lot of painters that are active in their art. These little scenes are from about the same time. They're dated on the back, 1865, and these are 6 views of Moosup Lake, and all identified on the back, really nicely done. But it shows an existing house that still survives on the end of Moosup Lake, and all the different seasons and sunset pictures. And so a really interesting, kind of charming capture of, again, what was important to the artist.